Hey everyone, this is a clip from a recent episode of Another Pass, where we talk about movies and all the struggles that go into making them. If you like it, check out the whole podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Why don't we talk about the child actors in this whole movie? Because there's a few sets that we see, and they are fun in different ways. I really like the daughters. We have a young Evan Rachel Wood as one of the characters. They're really cool. I understand that they apparently kind of condense most of the story beats mostly to the older daughter, which presumably she's the better actress at this point and goes on to be a big Hollywood star. So, it makes sense. Being able to see the spirits and having a lot of the actual lines and the very cute cursing the kid to have chicken pox, and then the next time we see him he actually has chicken pox, and all that, that's really fun. The younger versions of Sal Angeli also are I think very charming. The one who's playing young Sandra Bullock is Camilla Bell, who apparently stole Joe Jonas from Taylor Swift, and then she wrote a really mean song that apparently she doesn't do anymore because it's too mean. So for all the Swifties out there, somehow it all comes back.
I've heard that name. That's about the extent of my knowledge, but yeah.
Yeah, it's great watching some of these movies with my wife because I can get filled in on all the gossip that is just totally off my radar, and I'll be like, oh, but here's the story structure. No.
Speaking of gossip, before we get into the plot, this movie was cursed by a witch, allegedly. According to the director, there's a whole Vulture article about it. He's I don't necessarily believe that this is why it failed, but also it was creepy and weird. He wanted to do justice. He didn't want to be just campy, Hollywood witchcraft, which I would say he did an admirable job trying to bring in a little bit more of the legitimacy of the idea that there are spiritual and witchcraft practices out there. So he brought in a witch consultant, and then she tried to extort them for $250,000. And when they wouldn't pay her, she sent them this really creepy voicemail message about how she was cursing the production and all of this stuff. And so they paid her off to get her to go away because she was suing Warner Brothers and leaving scary voicemails, and they just wanted it to end. But he was I sort of never understood it because we would have these sold out showings. Everyone was clapping. Everyone was having a great time. Women loved this movie, and then it was a box office and critical flop, and it never lined up to me. He's so I don't think it was the curse, but I also feel the idea of this woman cursing us left a pall over the movie that sort of we never shook off, and then he never worked for a major Hollywood studio again. So fun times.
He's got to find a sister. He's got to make a blood oath.
He's got blood packs. He said he did an exorcism. Just in case.
Just in case. I mean, that's good. I think he should go around the world and find out all the different superstitions for getting rid of evil and just do them all. Do a world tour. Mm-hmm. I mean, logically, critically planned for a movie that is more geared towards women, especially in 1998.
It's not surprising.
It's not surprising. That's not a curse. That's just normal misogyny. That's just the film.
Sexism.
Remember, if you like that clip, check out the podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.